Crossing over now to news from Parliament. Debate began in the House of Assembly this morning on the 2019-2020 supplementary budget, with the Minister of Finance defending government's decision to borrow additional money for the rebuilding effort post-Hurricane Dorian. Fern Carey reports tonight from the House of Assembly.
In opening debate on the 2019-2020 mid-year budget, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Peter Turnquest, assured Bahamians that the government will not raise or introduce any new taxes to cover the cost of the massive post-Hurricane Dorian recovery effort now underway on Abaco and Grand Bahama.
More taxes could slow down the already strained economy, as people would consume less, given the need to pay more in taxes. Although we have a large budget gap to close in the immediate term, this is just not a viable option. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, as I've said many times, the government will not be increasing taxes.
However, with revised budgetary estimates for the fiscal year 2019-2020 showing revenue losses of over $200 million, liabilities deferred by the previous government at over $119 million, and $5.5 million in new interest charges, Turnquest said the government has no choice but to borrow money.
The price tag of these necessary and unavoidable expenditures is $540.7 million. We are not obscuring or hiding the fact that some of the expenses in our revised estimates are targeted at other critical government priorities. The $4.5 million we allocated for nurses' back pay, for example, was a debt we could not shift down the road without being unfair to those nurses. The $20.4 million for the renovations at the Princess Margaret Hospital were and are critical.
And although pledges from the local and international community poured in post-Hurricane Dorian, Turnquest said they are far less than anticipated.
Many of the public pledges that have been reported are actually in kind and not yet received. And many of them are actually donations to private sector organizations and not the government. According to data from the National Emergency Agency, NEMA, which receives donations on behalf of the government, as of January 31st, 2020, approximately $9.4 million was received as actual cash donations, and another $2.8 million in kind. And I think it has gone up since then, because it does not include the proceeds from the pledge conference and other in-kind donations.
And while the additional borrowing will raise the country's debt burden, Turnquest says a plan is in place to manage that debt over the next 5 years. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.